She said, "I'm only with you until someone better comes along." I said, "Fair enough." Then I started dating her best friend. The screaming voicemail she left when she saw us at her favorite restaurant. I, 29, male, had been dating Brooke, 27, for about 11 months when she dropped that bomb on me. We were having drinks at her place after I'd spent the entire day helping her move into her new apartment. My back was killing me from carrying her unnecessarily heavy furniture up 3 flights of stairs, a task for which I received a lukewarm thanks and a tap water. She was scrolling through Instagram, double-tapping photos of shirtless guys from her CrossFit class, when she just said it, as casually as commenting on the weather. "You know I'm only with you until someone better comes along, right?" I was mid-sip of my beer. I put the bottle down slowly on the coaster, the sound echoing in the sudden silence. "What?" She didn't even look up from her phone, her thumb still flicking through stories. "I mean, you're sweet and all, but let's be real. You're not exactly my endgame. You're more like a comfortable placeholder, someone to split dinner bills with and have around for couples events until the real thing shows up." The crazy part was the complete lack of malice in her voice. This wasn't a fight. This was, in her mind, a simple statement of fact. "You're a solid 6, maybe a 7 on a good day," she continued, finally glancing at me over her screen. "I need at least a 9 for marriage material. Someone with actual ambition. Maybe someone who doesn't work in IT support." I stared at her for a good 10 seconds, the weight of her words settling in my gut like cold lead. My entire relationship, the I love yous, the shared jokes, the future I thought we were building, it was all just a placeholder, an extended audition for a role I was never going to get. And in that moment of brutal honesty, something shifted. The hurt was there, but it was quickly being replaced by a profound, liberating clarity. "Fair enough," I said. She finally looked up, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. "Really? You're not mad?" "Nah," I said, leaning back and taking another sip of my beer. "Thanks for being honest." She smiled, a smug, satisfied little smile, and went back to her phone. "See? This is why you're good for now. No drama." That night, I went home and did some serious thinking. Not about whether to break up with her. That ship had sailed, hit an iceberg, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean the moment she called me a placeholder. I was thinking about how to handle this with the same casual, drama-free energy she had brought to destroying our relationship. Then I remembered a conversation from a few weeks prior. Her best friend, Daphne, had been there when Brooke was complaining about me not making enough money to fund their desired lifestyle. Daphne had actually defended me. "Income doesn't determine someone's worth, Brooke," she had said. "Jeremy's a genuinely good guy." Interesting. 3 days later, I ran into Daphne at the coffee shop near my work. It wasn't exactly a coincidence. Brooke had mentioned Daphne always studied there on Thursday mornings for her grad school classes. "Jeremy," she said, waving me over. After some small talk, I took a breath. "Actually, can I ask you something weird? Brooke told me she's basically just using me as a placeholder until she finds someone better." Daphne's face went through about 5 different emotions, ending on a mixture of horror and pity. "She actually said that to you?" Word for word, I confirmed. "That's so messed up," she said. "Oh, I'm so sorry. You deserve way better than that." "Thanks. I'm handling it. But here's the thing. I'm not even upset anymore. I'm freed. Now I know where I stand, and I can make my own decisions without feeling guilty." I decided to take a shot. "Would you maybe want to grab dinner sometime? As friends first, obviously." I know this is complicated with Brooke. She bit her lip, thinking, "You know what? Yeah, she clearly doesn't value you. So why should I be the one protecting her feelings? But Jeremy, if we do this, I need to know you're not just using me to get back at her." "I'm not," I said, and I meant it. "I've actually always thought you were the more interesting one. You're working on your PhD, you volunteer at the animal shelter, you actually read books." Brooke just happened to ask me out first. That Friday, we had our first dinner. We talked for 3 hours. It was easy, natural.
Right.
When Brooke texted asking what I was doing, I replied, "Having dinner with a friend." Technically true. Daphne and I kept hanging out. Coffee, lunch, always in public, always as friends, getting to know each other. Meanwhile, Brooke was escalating her search for my upgrade. My neighbor told me she had been bringing different guys from the gym back to my apartment while I was at work, using the key I had stupidly given her. Then Brooke called me. "We need to talk about boundaries," she said. "I don't appreciate you hanging out with Daphne. It's weird. You need to stop." "I thought I was just a placeholder," I said. "Why do you care?" "Because it makes me look bad. He's mine until I say he's not." She later texted Daphne in a furious tirade. That was the final straw for Daphne. "I'm done protecting her feelings," she told me. "Want to go to that Italian place on Monroe Street tomorrow night?"
Oh, like an actual date?
Monroe Street, where Brooke's favorite restaurant was, the one she went to every Saturday. "Are you sure?" I asked. "Completely," she said. "I'm tired of walking on eggshells around her ego. I need to paint you a picture of Saturday night, because it was absolutely unhinged. Daphne and I are at a restaurant 2 doors down from Brooke's favorite spot, having an amazing time.
Oh.
Then I see Brooke walk past the window with a guy I recognize, Marcus, a co-worker from my IT department, the same guy she once called that creepy neckbeard. She was clearly on a mission. 15 minutes later, Brooke is standing at our table, her face the color of a tomato. "What the actual hell is this?" she seethed. "Hey Brooke," Daphne said calmly. "You're on a date with my placeholder," I corrected.
Your word, not mine.
"This is so messed up, Daphne. How could you?" The entire restaurant was staring. Daphne stood up, her voice composed. "Brooke, you told him he was temporary. You bring random guys to his apartment. You called him a solid 6 to his face. What, exactly, are you upset about?" "He's mine until I say he's not," she screeched. "Actually," I said, pulling out my phone, "according to this text you accidentally sent me yesterday, I'm barely worth keeping around for my Netflix password." The manager came over. "Ma'am, you're the one yelling. I need you to return to your table or leave." She stormed back to Marcus, who looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. 10 minutes later, my phone started blowing up. The voicemail she left is a work of art, a masterpiece of unhinged rage. It starts with her calling me a pathetic little worm, cycles through her claiming Daphne is only with you to piss me off, then devolves into her screaming,
"You ruined everything."
"I was going to dump you next month anyway, but now it looks like you won." It ends with her threatening to use my Netflix password. That was her big threat. The week that followed was insane. She tried to get me fired with a fake client complaint. She tried to sabotage Daphne's PhD by calling her advisor with a plagiarism accusation. She even recruited her mother, Patricia, to sit in my apartment lobby and tell my neighbors I was a homewrecker. My 80-year-old neighbor, Margaret, shut that down quick, informing Patricia that everyone had seen Brooke bringing different men to my apartment for months. Brooke's last desperate move was to assemble a League of Extraordinary Exes, a group chat of her former boyfriends, trying to recruit them to ruin my life. It backfired spectacularly when they all started comparing stories and realized she had used the exact same lines on all of them. One of them, Tyler, sent me the screenshots. "Bullet dodged, brother." Another one, Antoine, messaged me on Facebook. Last week was Daphne's PhD defense. She passed with flying colors. Brooke, of course, showed up, dressed in white, and tried to interrupt the presentation by standing up and screaming, "I'm the victim here. That woman stole my placeholder." The academic panel had her escorted out by security while she screamed, "This isn't over. I have his HBO password too." Later that evening, while we were celebrating, I got a call from Brooke's mom. She was apologizing. Brooke, it turns out, had been off her anxiety medication for months because she thought it was dimming her sparkle, was in debt to 6 different friends, and had been banned from 2 gyms. She was finally getting help. Daphne and I have been together for 6 months now. We're moving into a new place next month, a fresh start. Last I heard, Brooke moved to Portland and is now a spiritual life coach. And that app I was developing in my spare time, I sold it to a tech company last month for enough to put a down payment on a house. Turns out this solid 6 with no ambition had some tricks up his sleeve. The best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme. It's just living your best life with someone who actually thinks you're a 10. Though I did change all my streaming passwords. I'm not that much of a saint.